Okay, let's talk about something we've all been through. You walk out of an interview, you're feeling great about a candidate, but something in the back of your mind feels a little off, right? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden biases that can sneak into our hiring decisions and really trip us up.
And this quote really just nails it, doesn't it? The stakes here are incredibly high. Getting the right person on board can absolutely change the game for your team. But making a mistake? That's not just a setback, it's a seriously expensive one, costing you time, money, and even team morale. And what's so important to understand is that these hiring mistakes aren't just random bad luck. As the source material really digs into, they often come from a very specific, very human place, a type of misjudgment that can affect even the sharpest, most experienced managers out there.
So what is it? What's this thing that we as the interviewers bring into the room that can so effectively cloud our judgment? What's the common thread running through all these hiring mishaps?
You guessed it. It's bias, our own unconscious tendencies, and our personal preferences. But here's the good news. One of the absolute best ways a manager can get better at hiring is to just recognize that these biases exist and then learn how to consciously push back against them. So let's dive into 3 of the biggest offenders.
All right, first up is a total classic. And let's be honest, it's one we've probably all been guilty of at some point. It's called the mirror image bias.
This is that natural, magnetic pull we have towards hiring people who are, well, people who are just like us. It's that little voice in our head saying, hey, this person gets it. They're on my wavelength. And yeah, that feels comfortable. It feels safe. But comfort is not the same thing as being the right person for the job.
And what's so powerful here is the contrast. On one hand, the feeling is great, right? This person feels familiar. They speak your language. It just clicks. But the danger on the other side is huge. You risk completely overlooking someone who's incredibly qualified just because their background or their style is different from yours.
Now, this whole idea of hiring someone who feels familiar leads us right into our second big bias, which honestly might be even sneakier. Let's talk about the trap of the likable candidate.
This is when the interview feels less like an actual evaluation and more like you're just having a great chat with a potential new friend. You know, the personal connection is just off the charts. But that awesome connection can be a total smokescreen for a real lack of substance.
And you can totally see how this happens, can't you? Just picture it. You've just sat through 5 interviews with people who are completely wrong for the job. Then, someone walks in who is just calm, personable, and so easy to talk to. That feeling of relief is real, and it can be dangerously persuasive.
This lays out the trap perfectly. The feeling? It's all about ease and comfort. It's just a pleasant experience. But the danger is that this pleasant vibe is preventing you from digging deeper, from spotting those red flags or the real gaps in their qualifications. You've got to remember to enjoy the conversation, sure, but keep your eye on the prize, what the job actually requires.
Wow, that says it all right there. The candidate might look perfect. They might feel like the right fit. But that feeling is no substitute for a real, hard look at whether they can actually do the job.
Okay, let's move on to our third and final bias for today. This one isn't about who we like, but how we interpret anxiety. We're talking about the nervous applicant.
So what do? You've got a candidate in front of you who is clearly tense. Are those nerves a sign they can't handle pressure, making it a deal breaker? Or is it just a distraction that's getting in the way of you seeing their true potential?
You know, this one is really tricky. Because even if you're actively trying to dodge the mirror image or likable candidate traps, a candidate's nervousness can become its own kind of bias, completely distracting you from what really matters, their skills and experience. So, what's the game plan here? Well, first off, just remember that nerves are normal. I mean, who isn't nervous in a job interview? The source material suggests that unless the job is all about high-stakes public speaking, don't just write someone off. A really great tactic is to think about setting up a second, maybe more informal interview. Give an otherwise great person a chance to relax and really show you what they've got.
So, now that we've walked through these 3 major pitfalls, you might be asking, okay, what's the secret to avoiding them? Well, there's no magic bullet. The real solution is all about awareness and making a deliberate, conscious effort.
And here it is, your game plan in 3 simple steps. First, just acknowledge it. We all have these biases, it's human. Second, get good at identifying them as they're happening. Ask yourself in the moment, do I like this person because they remind me of me? Or am I just enjoying this chat a little too much? And third, constantly, consciously refocus on the actual objective job requirements.
And that's our look at these sneaky interviewing biases. The biggest takeaway is that better hiring really starts with better self-awareness. So, the next time you walk into an interview, just think about it. Which one of these biases might be your personal kryptonite, and what's your plan to keep it in check?